All right, welcome everybody. Thanks for joining this week's huddle on a very interesting topic, unified insights, because it's the holy grail of DevOps intelligence. We have Vishnu, head of product at Opsera, Aruna, our principal data architect, and Tejas, our software engineering lead here to give us some insights into this holy grail of DevOps intelligence.
So the reason is like pretty much anything that we do today, like starting from your infrastructure to like SDLC to SaaS-based application development, everything goes through some DevOps process. And with more and more software delivery that's happening frequently with the agile world, it's imperative to have some sort of intelligence to around like what's happening around your DevOps ecosystem. With a growing number of tools, multiple tools and disparate logs like coming from various tools with different formats on the output and siloed data and teams working across the globe with different time zones, it is always like difficult to look for the right log to debug if something has to go wrong in the software supply chain. When I say software supply chain, I'm talking about the pipeline. The pipeline can run in Jenkins or a GitHub or a GitLab or like Buildkite or like a be it Opsera. It's very, very important for everybody to understand what's happening around the pipeline.
Right? Vishnu, actually, that's a good time to ask how many tools folks are using. Let me launch a quick poll here. A few seconds to let us know how many DevOps tools you're using in your environment today. All right, 5 more seconds.
I'm sure it's going to be like at least 6 to 10 or like 11 to 20.
Let's see if your guess is right. Okay, there you go. You're not wrong, Vishnu.
Yeah.
Right.
So I know like a lot of people like would have gone through this, right? Like you have no idea like how much money is in my bank account, right? It's the same thing. Like it's every time you have to log in and see like what you have, and similarly with DevOps as well. And if you want to understand like what is your technical debt looking like on the quality of the product, or what is your team velocity from the executive side or the agile delivery side, and what is the vulnerabilities from the security aspect, and like how are you trending over the time, like from release to release or like from quarter to quarter in terms of the deliverable. So like a business team can basically come up with an value stream mapping and then say like, okay, this is the feature that I need to launch and this is how it's going to be. So Aruna and Tejas, like I know you guys have been like working on the grassroots level with respect to the delivery of the product, right? Like here in Opsera. So among this, like what do you think is like most valuable KPI that like it helps you on an everyday basis to drive the velocity and also deliver the quality product to the customers?
Right. I'll probably go first, Tejas. For me, the most important KPI that I would like to measure or have on a daily basis, monitor on a daily basis, would be to check how my code commits, right? So how many code commits am I making on a day, and how secure or how quality, what's the quality percentage code that I'm delivering or pushing into various environments, be it development environments or test environments. So am I pushing the quality code? And if there's any issues, I would definitely want to know immediately right away what issues that I have or what issues are there present in my code, and I would definitely want to resolve them straight away before I push anything before I break anything in production, right? So so those are kind of critical KPIs that I would like to have or measure on a daily basis, and also a little bit of a competition for me for myself, as in I would like to see how am I progressing on a daily or weekly basis in terms of my developer productivity, in terms of what volume of changes am I bringing into the product or into any kind of application.
The next one is like the following one, it's a metrics, right? Like just like the bank account, how are you improving? Like how can you improve, like if you're not measuring, if you're not seeing like what's happening in the ecosystem, right? This is a complex problem today, and with cloud migration that's happening and plethora of tools coming in, like for instance, like any big enterprise, if you take like security tool alone, they'll have 4 or 5 tools, and like each application would want a different security tool based on their application. We can't complain about them because we need to empower the team who is delivering the quality product. So like how are you going to improve without having the data on your hand. So that's going to be a very critical one. And when we started the product development, from my previous experience, this is one of the challenge, because we will basically go for a PA planning for like next 3 releases or 4 releases. And when we get to the sprint, and we will run into multiple issues where like we hit a technical snag with respect to security or quality, and that requires like maybe more than 2 weeks of sprint effort, and business will not understand like why it takes long time, like even though we had estimation, because security requirements is altogether different from the business requirement, the functionality of the feature requirement. So that's where I think like this kind of metrics will help the business or the engineering team or the quality team or the security team to understand the bottlenecks, and like come together, help each other with a quick feedback loop, and then like it will basically help them to deliver the product on time. This slide, it talks about like no unified view into pipelines. As I said, like you have dozens of DevOps tools, stacks, environments, the platforms, and then like you will have hundreds of pipelines with various combinations with respect to build or the collaboration tools or the ITSM, the governance aspect, the quality, security. And when you have so many tools, what's going to happen is like it's going to take 3 to 4x of your time in terms of integrating the tool and making sure like the feedback is sent back to the required people to understand like what's happening. And then like the cost of fixing a security quality issues, if you don't have it part of your pipeline to understand what's happening, then it's going to increase significantly. For instance, like if you find a security bug like during your development time, the cost of fixing it is like it's 1x, maybe like 2 days you will spend. But the same security fix goes into production, the cost will be like usually 30x. The same thing goes with the quality as well. Today, like if you look at the digital world, with the digital transformation, every product that is in the market, they are focusing on the customer experience. In order to give a better customer experience, I think it's very important for us to measure the DevOps ecosystem KPIs and insights to understand like where the team is, so like everybody can come as a team and then deliver a quality product and make sure that like they increase the customer base, or like the customer experience is improved on a periodic basis from sprint to sprint or release to release. So Aruna, like Tejas, we know like we have a lot of products within our own stack, right? Like with various products that we support. Um, like what do you think about this, right? Like every time like we integrate with the product, and they just like you basically like do all the due diligence with these products and tools. Like you would have gone through the experience like what any other engineer or developer would be doing it, right? Can you chat about that?
Like you mentioned, Vishnu, right? With all the different integrations that we do, that's going to already kind of spread us to a variety of different tools. And in addition, for each one of those, there's different components in the back end and the front end to handle as well. So when you get into all of that, the amount of tools and environments and just overall stacks that we have really add up very quickly. So it's definitely important to be able to track everything, kind of organize and segment them as well. Otherwise, you'll definitely lose track of everything that you got to keep a hold of.
Yeah, it's always a challenge with these tools, right? They just with the different type of log outputs that comes out, right? Like it can be JSON, it can be an HTML report or XML report. It's not easy for anybody to just like that, like understand what's happening if something has to go wrong within the pipeline. That I have seen that as a challenge. Like I'm sure like you would have seen that as a challenge as well on your end.
Yeah, because in addition to the tool, there are different configurations for the tools as well. So the number of different combinations and therefore the number of different ways something can go wrong in your pipeline are really, really large.
Yeah, especially with the large volume of pipelines, which Vishnu said, like, hey, hundreds of pipelines. So maybe this is a good time to run a poll to see how many pipelines our audience here, run on a regular basis. So a quick poll question. Vishnu, any guesses, like how many pipelines folks run in a week or a month?
In a week, in any like medium-sized enterprise, I would expect them to run like 100 to 500 pipelines. Not with respect to any specific environment, but like that's a minimum.
And you are once again right. You want to read aloud? I don't know if everybody can see the answer.
Yeah, looks like 75% of the people have mentioned that like they run like less than 700 pipelines a week, and 500 to 1,000 pipelines, 25%. And the do-it-yourself basically won the second one, like with Jenkins being 75% and GitLab being 25. That shows there's a lot of custom scripts being involved, and I think that's complexity itself, right? Like if one Groovy has to go away or fail, and it's very difficult for people to measure what's happening within that particular stage or anything. And like adding a new tool, it's a nightmare again within the Jenkins as well. That's a good segue for us to get into the next slide. So here I would like to introduce about Opsera Unified Insights in terms of like what do we offer to our customers, right? We are basically like focusing on helping the development team or the release team or like whoever is involved as part of the release to troubleshoot and fix faster. So what we do is like irrespective you have like 20 tools or 40 tools or 50 tools in the pipeline, or like you have 50 tools in the ecosystem, we'll be able to aggregate and give a contextualized and correlated logs, pinpointing like what exactly happening within a pipeline and where it is and who is the user that is been triggering the pipeline and where that pipeline is connected to, right? Like in terms of the story, in terms of the Jira project. What it does is it basically helps the team with the real-time alerts and notifications via different collaboration tools that we have, be it the Slack or Microsoft Teams or a Google Chat or like a Jira ticket or even with the ServiceNow incident. And this will basically help the team to reduce the MTTR, which is like mean time to resolve, and MTBF, mean time between failures, and MTTA. So like having these KPIs, which is like part of DORA, on top of it, like we are giving a couple more KPIs. It will help the team to address the issue faster without relying on each other to basically get more information by opening an incident. That's what I have seen in my past, where if my dev team has some issues in the DevOps pipeline, they always open an incident and wait for the operations teams to come back with the logs, or they wait for them to come into the call and then like get the information. They go search for the corresponding logs and they try to give it, and then the call itself goes 2-3 hours. So that problem we are resolving instantly. And the second thing is reduced risk with better compliance and reporting. So this is another critical one when it comes to the banking sectors or the financial or the healthcare sectors or like the pharmaceutical sectors or any sectors that we have. Compliance and reporting is one of the key aspects today, where we'll be able to give them audit report within the in the name of Blueprint, where they can identify like the different steps involved in the pipeline and who triggered it, what really happened, and what is the exact log for that particular pipeline. And the next one is the security and quality with the threat vulnerability quality scorecards. This one we are giving based on the NIST standard. So if you're worrying about like what standard that you're running with Opsera, instantly like you get to the NIST standard, where you'll be able to measure your security and quality scoreboards. And Aruna, based on your experience with the customers that we are working with, the large enterprises, right? This is one of the pain points. They were always been like asking, hey, like I need to understand my security standard, like I need to get to NIST standard, but how do I get there? But maybe like if you can talk about the customer experience connecting to Opsera, that would be helpful, I guess.
Sure, Vishnu. So one main ask from customers, especially large enterprise customers, right? So they want to measure and they want to have goals. So these goals can be defined by them, or they can be standard goals, right, set by NIST and other standard institutions and organizations. So the goal is one important thing, and they just don't want to stop from having some summarized reports and just calculating the total numbers of issues that they have, right? So they want to get deep into the issues, each one of them, and right then and there they want to be able to get hold of the appropriate person who needs to fix those issues right away, and make sure that take up to be precise, take actions as quick as possible, as soon as possible, so that the time to market for them as well starts to decrease.
Yeah, that's correct. I myself see the value of our own team, right? Like we have like a lot of tools on the product that we deliver. And if I have to go see like where our release and like how are we trending over the security and quality, I basically don't have to rely on someone to run me a report, right? I can basically go into a view of an executive or a manager and see like where the bottlenecks are, who is doing what, and then like I'll be able to have an effective conversation with that person rather calling for a meeting and then like trying to get the report and then go solve the problem. So if I can get the experience and like customers are seeing the experience, that's going to be the same, because the dashboard that we give with respect to the personas being developer, manager, or executive, no matter how many different types of security tools, quality tools that the ecosystem has, we'll be giving a consolidated report for them to give an actionable intelligence across like planning, development, quality, and security with respect to DORA KPIs and NIST standards. And also they get like the continuous improvement with the feedback loops, where the feedback loops can be sent to different personas within the organization, be it product, be it business, be it the engineering team, and also the release team and operations team as well.
Our team uses ServiceNow. So someone wants to know if Opsera integrates with ServiceNow as well. Yes, we do. We do integrate with ServiceNow, and we do capture change requests and incidents so that we'll be able to deliver or calculate MTTR and set goals on the MTTR and make sure that each team at a team level or a project level or application level, you'll be able to make sure that you are well within the goal limits or take appropriate actions based on actionable intelligence as well.
Yeah, not just MTTR, we give the MTBF, mean time between failures, and mean time to acknowledge an incident coming in ServiceNow as well. And also like the change ticket, right? Like whether an incident has created a change, like what kind of different changes that you're running in your ecosystem, be it standard versus normal versus emergency or expedited change. All these KPIs that you get out of the box, and you can link it to your pipeline, you can link it to your application product, and also see like how we are trending over the time with respect to the different changes and incidents.
Deployment frequency. Oh, wow. Everything. I think it's gotten an equal response, all the metrics.
Yeah, as I said, like everything is
Yes.
here.
Yes. It's, deployment frequency is 1. It's got more than 80%. The rest are all equally balanced.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Coming back to the question, Aruna.
You might want to take the question towards the end as we have more topics to cover here.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
So this is a sample like view of like how our executive dashboard, manager dashboard will look like, where you can get instant value. The best part about Opsera is we don't run any agents on your system. It's all like connected through APIs, through secure VPN channel, or through the vault. So the moment we connect the tool, we'll be able to basically like get the metadata from different pipelines and the tools that is running part of the pipelines, and we'll be able to give you the dashboard with the tags where you can slice and dice the KPIs based on your need, be it as an executive or a manager or like the developer view. And you can have actionable intelligence by clicking these KPIs to understand where the bottlenecks are. And Tejas will be sharing a demo quickly, like in terms of like how these dashboards are like being built and like how it can be used on a daily basis. So this is like a high level view on Opsera. So Opsera, it's a no code DevOps orchestration platform where we give a unified solution where users can bring in any tools as part of the DevOps ecosystem. Like it can be a in-house tool or like any homegrown or like a custom application or a commercial application. And you can build pipelines without writing any code. Like it can be an SDLC for like Java, .NET, or like MERN stack, or like you can build pipelines for Salesforce, infrastructure as a code, SnapLogic, Informatica, and SAP CPQ. So you have like, you can pretty much build like any SaaS, COTS, or SDLC, IAC pipelines without writing any code, with integrated security and quality gates where you can set up your own threshold based on your governance aspect. The last one is the unified insights, where we offer 100 plus KPIs with around starting from planning to pipeline to security, quality, operations. And this can be like slice and dice across organization, as I mentioned earlier. And you can also get the audit and compliance reporting with the alerts and notification for the insights, right? Like for instance, like you're using only unified insights with Opsera, and you want to get notified if someone, some KPIs are breaching the threshold that you have set up, it immediately alerts you, creates a ticket, or send the notification via different communication channel that we have. So you'll be able to like work with the team and make sure that like you fix it, and so you can always be within the trend line or the threshold that you have set up for your application team or the organization. Aggregation is always a complex problem in the market in terms of like, especially when the data source is coming from multiple angles.
In the interest of time, what I'll do as part of this demo is I'll cover some of the dashboards that you can create within Opsera. And then I'll go into the blueprints as well, so for auditing as well. So like Vishnu had mentioned, the dashboards, what you want from your dashboards is really to kind of focus on whoever the target audience is going to be. So what we do is we offer metrics based on persona. So developer, manager, executive, and what developers will really be focused on is going to be on the code. So what you can see here is a dashboard which will basically capture bottlenecks in terms of how long it's taking for code to be merged in, as well as tracking the number of commits happening to a particular repository or project. Who's raising or who's contributing commits or pull requests to that project. And one thing that people want to see also is a list of their recent merges, as well as anything that they might have pending still. So if they have a merge request pending review, that's something they'll want to keep tabs on. So that's kind of the focus of this dashboard for developers, which is to allow them to really kind of capture an idea of their commits, their pull requests, basically their contributions to the code. Moving on to the next template, which would be the manager. The manager is going to be manager persona is going to be more focused. They'll have focus on the code, but they'll be more focused on a team or application that they're managing. So what their interest will be on deployments or artifact pushes. Basically, if anything is going to production or even to QA, that's something that they'll want to have track of. Lead time is obviously, as a DORA metric, it's very important to track because it will allow users to kind of determine the speed or agility at which that they're completing items. And it's good to track basically within that what types of issues are being completed as well. So whether they're feature requests or bugs, that's something that's good to track as well, especially within a sprint. That'll be helpful to see what the focus of each particular sprint or release might be.
So the best part here is they just like it's all comes with an actionable intelligence, right? Like for instance, like a lot of people said, like I care about the deployment frequency. So the first KPI that you're sharing the deployment status, where they can basically click and exactly see like what exactly happened with that particular Argo deployment. It will take them to the logs, correct?
Right. Yeah, even within the lead time metric, one thing that it can let you do is that it will help you. So this one is configured based off of Jira. And what you can do is that you can click on a particular issue. So if I were to click on this one, for example, it will basically give you a history of when this the issue was being updated. So you can see when this was opened, when it got moved to in progress, and then when it was moved to done. So this is a good way to kind of track if you want to look at any particular issue, what not just when it was completed, but the entire process along the way. Which will be the next step, because if you're looking at this chart and you have any questions, you're going to start drilling down and thinking, okay, if it's taking 9 days on average, what is what status is, where are the bottlenecks essentially? That's something that managers are definitely going to be very interested in. Another thing that they'll want to keep track of is the trends. So here you can also see on the left, it'll basically give you an idea of how whether you're increasing or decreasing. So with something like mean, the average lead time, we can see the previous lead time was 11 days, but now that it's gone down to 9. That's one positive sign. But part of the reason this might be happening is because the number of issues and bugs that were completed have also decreased. So being able to kind of track this information and the trends around it is what really gives people a more complete story of their DevOps And then
we are running on time. Can you quickly share the executive dashboard, and then like maybe we can take any questions that we have.
Sure. So going into the executive dashboard, this one will be more focused on DORA metrics and really just overall productivity for the organization. So the same lead time metric is applicable not just for a particular team, but organization-wide as well. Deployment frequency is very important. I know we had a question on the ServiceNow integration. So one thing you can do is integrate with ServiceNow to kind of track your mean time to resolve, mean time to acknowledge. And then one thing that's definitely important for everyone is security. So being able to capture your overall security posture and see the improvements, whether you're getting better or worse, or what your current kind of rating is, that's something that's really critical for users as well. I know we're kind of running late on time, Vishnu. Do we have time to cover one of the blueprints?
Yeah, we can cover it, and also like there is a call to action, like Sushmita.
Yeah, so just, let's wrap it up in 30 seconds, and thanks everybody for staying over. Looks like you guys are interested in what we are showing, so thanks for staying over and for your patience. Yeah, let's wrap it up in 30 seconds.
Sure. Yeah, so one thing to just kind of highlight, as mentioned with the audit, it's a good way to kind of track the different steps that are being executed as part of a pipeline. And as part of that, something that's really critical is if you're running security steps, for example, you'll definitely want to see the security report so you can get a sense of what all changes, what your current security status is, and so on. This is just a way to kind of track in each individual pipeline what exactly is happening.
Thanks, Tejas. Thanks for the demo. And yeah, as Tejas mentioned, you can download this report as is as a PDF, and you can upload it to any of your project management tool or complaints tracking tool. And then like you can always come into the pipeline, and you can go back to the release and get the entire audit report with respect to the user, to the pipeline, to the planning, the story, or to the deployment aspect of it.